To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Welcome to the Talk About the Magic podcast, where you'll find inspiration and encouragement tied together with the magic of Disney. Now, here's your host, Joseph Ballesteros.
What is going on, Magic Cheers? Welcome to another episode of Talk About the Magic. I'm excited for today's episode. I'm very, very excited. A lot of things have been going on. I've been working quite a bit on the site and the idea of the podcast. So the podcast is going to stay the same on Sunday, but it's going to be different in the sense that, I don't even know if I should tell you guys this, but I'm going to tell you guys this anyway because you guys are my friends, and it's I'm going to be honest with you. But what it is I've kind of gone through a midlife, not a midlife. I'm not that bad yet. I'm not to say it's bad to go through that. I know it probably is going to happen eventually, but I was going to say midlife crisis, but I would say a podcast life crisis, I guess you would say. I personally have changed my idea of what my show Talk About the Magic is about, but not in the sense that I'm going to again, cancel it. And now we're not going to do anything on Sunday or nothing like that. It's more of a personal idea in that I read a lot. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I listen to a lot of different podcasts of people that that inspire me to kind of do more, inspire me to get up and go. One of the books that I listened to, I think this is my third time going through it actually, is No More Mondays by Dan Miller. It's a very popular book, especially if you're somebody who, is wanting to kind of leave the 9-to-5 style workforce. This is kind of a book that a lot of entrepreneurs kind of mention or tell you to read yourself. And hearing it again, I heard this when I first started kind of doing the idea of what a podcast that I wanted to start doing it. And I heard the book and it really changed my idea. At the time though, I was doing YouTube, so I was like, oh, YouTube's my thing. And I heard it again, and then that kind of changed my idea of what do I really enjoy about YouTube? What do I really like? And I said, you know what? I'm going to get into podcasting instead because I really enjoy doing audio. I'm a musician. I love, all this kind of doodads and whistles that I deal with on here. And then hearing it again, along with kind of a trying time here with the podcast, really kind of opened my eyes. So I try to keep about 2 weeks ahead on schedule. So that way, because you've heard before when I've gotten sick and stuff, I don't want shows to be missed on Sunday. The last show we had, with Tiffany, was the last show I had in queue. I had no more shows, and usually I'm able to book shows, the week before, so, it's a running thing. For about 3 weeks, though, I got no response from any people that I reached out to. None. Not even, hey, next month we can do something. Like, literally zero. And it really kind of freaked me out because I said, and I'm just being honest with you here, guys. Like I said, I know technically maybe you don't even care, but I honestly just want to share it with you because you guys have been so awesome to listen to the show as long as you have. But I thought to myself, I started freaking out because I'm like, what am I supposed to do? You guys are expecting to hear an interview show. Nobody's reaching out to me. What can I do? And I did not like that feeling. I did not like the feeling of not being able to create what I was saying I was going to create. And when I started listening to the book again, I kind of got my own ideas, and I realized something that, it's for me, while I love doing this show, the show isn't what makes me happy. Talk About the Magic, and it kind of made me realize that because I've said this before, that it was a show, and I've kind of realized it's not the show. Talk About the Magic podcast does not actually make me happy. What excites me and makes me happy is the idea, the fact that I know that the show that we are going to release on Sunday will potentially help you do something greater. Whether it's in your job, in your family life, a personal goal that you have, like whatever it is, maybe this show is going to be the thing that gets you to that next step. And that is what makes me happy. That's what would get me excited. And, I was upset because I wasn't able to get anybody. I was upset because nobody was responding. And I realized to myself, okay, look, I had a talk in the mirror moment where, don't act like you don't talk to yourself in the mirror. I looked at myself. I said to myself, what do you want to do? Do you want to just not do a show for Sunday and keep trying to get an interview? What's going to make you happy? What's going to make you feel like you did something that was supposed to be done? What's going to help you feel that, the people listening are going to get value from what you're going to share? And I had to answer myself, and I realized, what it is? What it is that I want to share something that hopefully will inspire you and motivate you to accomplish something. And whether that's through an interview or that's just through a show that I do by myself, the goal remains the same. And so, realizing that, after that, it was like it's a wonderful feeling. Some of you guys, will know, and hopefully if you haven't felt this kind of feeling, you will eventually feel it once you start going toward your goal. But you get in this positive snowball effect. You get this idea, and it, starts out small, and then you keep thinking about it. You just tweak it a little, all of a sudden it gets bigger, and then, you do this, and you add a little bit of this, a little bit of pixie dust there, a little bit of, icing on the cake here, and all of a sudden it's like, yes. So that's basically what happened. If you head over to talkaboutthemagic.com now, you'll see a completely different homepage. And a different kind of idea. You'll see a summary of the site. You'll see what I really am trying to do, what I'm hoping to do. And you'll see, of course, on the About Me page, if you go to the About Me page, that's where I really kind of let loose and really shared a lot of feelings there. And you'll also see a different image. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you should see a completely different image than there was before. And on that image, you're going to see a tagline. And that tagline says, inspiring the go-getter and Disneypreneur in you. So I want to break that down because, before it was Talk About the Magic, inspiration through Disney magic. And that was a very purposeful thing. It was for Disney fans who wanted to get inspired. That was the goal. And so that's basically the idea behind that. This new, kind of goal that I have is different. The reason, let me break it down for you real quick. The reason why I choose the word go-getter, I love the meaning of this word, and this is why I chose it. But go-getter is defined in the dictionary as a person who works very hard and who wants very much to succeed. That one word defines what I want this podcast to help you do. That one word is what this podcast, what this show, what my life that I enjoy sharing, what I hope to do, whether I'm doing a podcast or not, for the people around me, family, friends, doesn't matter where I'm at. This is what I want to be. I want to be a person who works very hard and wants to succeed. And not just succeed, but succeed very much. That means when the punches start rolling, that means when you start tripping on things because, life is throwing you curveballs, it doesn't matter because your mentality, your mindset, and your strength and your fight is to be a go-getter, and you are going to succeed. You do not even think about quitting. That's what excited me about this word, because that's what I want this podcast to be for. I want it to be for that person who is thinking, whether it is that they're trying to, run their own business, whether it's that they're being a better parent, whether it's about losing weight, whether it's about being a better employee, a better student, a better kid, whether it's about being a better friend, whether it's about being a better, family member, like brother or sister. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is, but as long as you are wanting to be working very hard at it and want to succeed very much at it, you are a go-getter. And that is a person that I want to be involved with. That is a person that I want to talk and spend my time, I want to spend my time talking to that person. That's why I put this word in there. Because it to me, it just defines my personal life, my view of life, and what I hope I can inspire yours to become as well, if it's not already. And if it is, then you're going to love it even more, because that's the kind of show we're going to be having here. Shows for people like you, a go-getter. The reason why I chose Disneypreneur is because, now this one's a little tricky, because the Disneypreneur, if you look at a Disneypreneur, that it seems like, I don't want to be an entrepreneur, right? I'm fine with my 9-to-5 job, or I'm fine, whatever. I don't want to go try to start a business. And that preneur word is linked with entrepreneur, which usually means somebody trying to, do their own business, something like that. But this was another neat little thing that I learned from, again, after hearing it the third time. And I was like, I don't know why I never realized this before. I never really paid attention to it before. From the book is something Dan Miller suggests is create your own word. He didn't like the word entrepreneur either. He wasn't doing a brick and mortar style business. He wasn't doing something that required employees or anything like that. And so he made up his own word. His word was egopreneur, I believe is what he said. And, he said, make your own word up. And I thought, well, yeah, it's a free country. I mean, I already made up Stay Magical, right? Hashtag Stay Magical. That's what's if you haven't heard me say Stay Magical by now, or you don't know what it is, you're probably new to the show. But the reason why I put hashtag Stay Magical, because if you put hashtag Stay Magical on Twitter, on Instagram, pretty much anywhere that accepts hashtags, you're going to find quite a few posts from me, because that's what I label everything with, because that's my goodbye phrase. That's my hope for you, that you guys stay magical, right? So I thought, okay, I like this. I'm gonna make a new word. And the reason why I said Disneypreneur is because each one of us who is a fan of Disney all understand and can relate, and to an extent even maybe look up to Walt Disney. And I'm not saying as an idol, or before, I'm not saying, before we get all into that kind of stuff, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying though is we look up to him in the sense of saying, wow, that's a guy who had nothing and then he did it. He made this thing. And we respect that, And so to me, I saw that word Disneypreneur and I thought, when I say Disneypreneur, what I'm hoping you guys are going to understand, and of course I'm going to have to explain it a lot of times to people, I'm aware, but it's not that it's just for people who want to start their own Etsy store or their own blog. It's not just that. It's the mindset of a Walt Disney, Walt Disney is living, or, he was living proof. He was living, breathing proof of a go-getter, because he worked insanely hard. And he more than I don't know who else we could imagine in that same way who would want to succeed as much as he did. When you read his story and his biography, you understand how much he had to go through, and how many times, if you put yourself in his shoes, you probably would have quit. And so the Disneypreneur is another state of mind. It's the mind to say, look, this isn't going well. Life is tough right now. Things didn't work out the way you planned, but you know who else that happened to? Walt Disney. But you know what he did that maybe you're not doing is he didn't quit, and you are. The Disneypreneur mindset is to just remember, like, Walt Disney, human being, blood, bones, guts, let's get real. You know what I mean? He's a human guy, just like you and I. We breathe, we sleep, we need to eat. Nothing special. In fact, a lot of things maybe that we take for granted, like phones and computers and everything, he didn't have. Yet he was able to create the films that he created. He was able to create the characters. He was able to create the jobs. He was able to create a theme park. He was able to create another theme park that continues to succeed and beyond the 2 theme parks he made, simply by a dream that he instilled in the people he employed. These people truly believe in what Walt Disney stands for. They continue to work, following a dream that a man who no longer is alive, who would not know if we, or could not do anything if we were to just completely shut down all of the Disney worlds, they continue to fight to make it a reality. They continue to dream big. Whether you're a fan of Avatar or not, look, I'm not a huge fan of the movie. You got to have mad respect for what's going on in Animal Kingdom. Because not only are they taking a movie that's been out for a long time, and a lot of people have forgot about it, they created a world that is literally make-believe in a movie, and they made it a reality. That place is a living testament. Whether it's good or bad, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's a living testament of people who are following a man's dream. That's a Disneypreneur, and that's what I want. I want to live a life, and I want to succeed in life, and I want to, portray a way of life for my kids that even when I'm gone, people who are around me or who have known me or who have talked to me before in the past or somehow had any kind of contact with me say, this guy stood for something and I believe in it too. And I'm going to keep going. And because of that, you become a doctor. Because of that, you become a spaceship. Because of that, you become an astronaut. Because of that, you become a president. Because of that, you become the next Walt Disney. You become somebody who can change the world because you discovered the cure for cancer or AIDS or you don't know who you impact when you make yourself that person. When you make yourself that person, that go-getter, that Disneypreneur, you have no idea how much power you have. And I don't say that to lift my collar or to lift your collar. I say that to say this life that we're living, we got to take it seriously because honestly, we truly have the 100% power to impact the world. Whether it's through our literal fingertips, that we truly do something like literally, solve an issue or a problem, or it's because we trained our kids to think this way and they did it because they grow up and they say, my parents taught me that if I really work hard and if I really believe and if I really keep going for my dream, that no matter what obstacles come my way, I can make a difference. That's what this is all about. It's funny because you can think about yesterday. You can think about last week, last month. And when you think of, even last year, you realize how fast it went. I mean, it's my birthday already coming up. I'm freaking out. Whoa, wait, hold on. I was supposed to be doing all this stuff by now. What's going on? That's how fast life goes. And we cannot allow life to go that fast and then complain that we didn't get to do anything because we just never got up and acted. We never got up and actually pursued. We never got up and actually believed and worked toward what we were wanting to do. We cannot control life, but we also cannot let life control us. We can't get discouraged when things don't go our way. We cannot, no matter how easy it might feel, quit if it's something we truly care about. There's something that I've heard so many different entrepreneurs say in their marketing courses, in their books, all of these places that they speak at. And it's called a pivot. They were doing something and something happened, so they had to pivot. And I never really understood what that meant. They're saying what I'm saying, which is continue on your journey, pivot. And I'm like, if you pivot, you're in a whole new direction, technically. Something I think that they forget that they should probably say is pivot to pivot. If something comes in your way while you're pursuing whatever it is you're trying to pursue, if you're trying to lose weight and you get sick for 2 weeks like I did, you know what I mean? You're going to have to pivot. What does that mean? In this case, I'm not able to work out, so I'm not going to eat junk. I'm going to do everything I can for the next 2 weeks while I'm sick to eat only things that are going to either A, make me feel better, or 2, not give me, 5,000 calories of sugar because it's a Big Mac burger that I feel I can eat now finally. But then I need to pivot back, meaning after 2 weeks of not working out, I can't just stay lazy and say, well, I'm eating okay, so I guess I don't have to work out that much. No. You need to pivot back and get back on that treadmill and start working out again, or whatever it is you're doing as exercise. And in business, when you are doing your own thing, we have so many people on the show who run their own, stores on Etsy, and they're doing, they're hustling to do what they do. When something comes in your way, pivot. You're right. But don't pivot to quit. Don't pivot to try a new direction. Pivot back again to your original goal, your original journey. Because if that's what you're truly passionate about, you cannot stop. You cannot quit. You cannot turn away and start something new, because all it's going to do is just give you a bunch of starting, projects that never finish. Get your goal in mind, get your idea, get your plan, and go. And do it. Doesn't matter how long it's going to take. That's not your concern. Your concern is to give it your all. That's really the only thing you can control. Because you can't control. As much as I'm doing this podcast, I've been doing it for almost 2 years. I've done YouTube 4 years before that. I can't control you guys to say every single person listening to the podcast needs to share it. And on top of that, I want to get 5 million downloads every month by the time next year. Like, as much as I would love to say that, as much as I wish, as a podcaster, to be able to tell my audience and know that they're going to go share it with everybody, and I'm going to get 5 million subscribers every month. Like, I can't control you. I don't have that power. But you know what I can control? Me. I can control how hard I'm going to work to motivate you guys to this show. I can control how hard I'm going to work to motivate and to get you guys inspired through the website, through different blog entries. I can get myself to work as hard as I can to motivate you guys to get excited about your own journey. That I can do. And that's what I can control. And that's what I'm choosing to focus on. And so I don't remember how I started this show. Just playing. Just kidding. I like to break the ice a little bit sometimes. But it goes back to, like I said, when you go to the website, you can see it a little different. The podcast, you can see a different cover. And the reason for that isn't because I'm getting rid of talk about the magic, but it's because my goal is different. My goal isn't no longer to, please, I need an interview. Please, I need to bring somebody, because if not, I don't get a show on. No, that's not my goal. My goal is to get you motivated and to get you inspired and to get you to feel good about your choice of abandoning the norm and saying, I'm going to live my life and I'm going to pursue this goal I have, whether it's big or small. I'm going to accomplish this because I only got so many years, if that, on this world, and I want to make sure to make the most of it. That's my goal. So I'm excited for the change. And I hope you guys are. I know I get heated, but honestly, it's because I care about you guys. I really do. And I mean, if you meet me in person and if you really want to see how I am and you meet me in person, ask me a question about whether you should follow your dream or not, and you'll pretty much hear me say the exact same things I did on here. You'll see me get heated up. I don't mean to do it. I'm not doing it in an aggressive way. I'm doing it because I get excited. I get pumped because I know there's a chance that you're gonna take your steps to the next level. Your next goal. You're gonna get there. So I really hope you guys stick around. You know, like I said, I'm not getting rid of interviews. I'm still reaching out to people. But I'm not going to base my show anymore on that, in the sense of, if we don't have an interview, we don't have a show. I'm dedicated to focusing on helping anyone who listens to the show get pumped and moved to start making, a change in their own personal life on how they continue, on how they pursue their own journey. So I'm going to be doing the show. I'm going to be putting some blog posts up that are going to be, of course, Disney associated, but it's still going to be following this inspiration thing, hopefully to get you guys moving and shaking. And so I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please do not ever hesitate to reach out to me. I love getting your DMs. I love getting your comments. I'll be honest, some of the comments, for some reason, on my WordPress site, they don't come in, as far as I don't get notified. So I just saw a couple and I had to respond, and I apologize. I know Shannon had replied. She really enjoyed Tiffany's podcast show that we had here last week. And I did respond to Shannon, but again, Shannon, I do apologize. that I wasn't informed. And I know Tiffany reached out to me, and I was telling her about how I say a lot. So Tiffany, hopefully you heard me say a lot here, and you know it's just the way I talk, and I do it because I know I could edit that out. I know when I was learning about podcasting stuff, that was a huge thing. I don't get why podcasters, they very, very like, oh, if you say a lot, or if you have long periods of silence, like, you better cut that out. And I'm like, but that's the way I talk. Like, you know what I mean? If I did that, I'd spend like 9 hours editing because I say like every 2 seconds. So hopefully you guys are, fine with it. I think you are. I've never gotten a complaint like, stop saying I'm gonna unsubscribe and tell everybody never to listen to you because you say a lot. We all say things, right? So, but then that's the point. I leave it on here because I'm a real person. I say and I make mistakes too. So I really hope though you guys enjoyed this episode. But let me know, please comment. Let me know, how you guys feel. Are you excited? I know I'm excited for the new direction. And I'd love to get your thoughts. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed rest of your day and week. Have a great night, day, weekend, whenever you're listening to this. And as always, stay magical.
This was the Talk About the Magic podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and share with a friend. Thanks for listening, and as always, stay magical.